You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
All eyes on Trump foe as Senator throws major wrench in White House plan, based on an article by Sarah K. Burris. Trump turns the Attorney General into a loyalty test. The real story. The headline is Blanche's nomination, but the power dynamic is simpler. Trump is using the Justice Department as a political loyalty filter, and the Senate is still treating that as normal governance. Lisa Murkowski's rejection matters because it exposes the fragility of the Republican bloc, not because it restores any integrity to the process. Who holds power? Trump holds the leverage. He publicly attacked Murkowski, then shrugged off the damage. You do what you have to do. That is not the language of an executive seeking confirmation for a qualified nominee. It is the language of a man who believes the presidency exists to reward allies, punish defectors, and force the rest of the party to decide which humiliation they can tolerate. The misdirection game. The press frame is already drifting toward Senate drama, holdouts, and vote counts. That is the convenient version, because it turns an abuse of power into a procedural horse race. The actual decision maker here is Trump, and the actual institution at risk is the Department of Justice. Murkowski's objections to the Epstein files, sweeping immunity for the president and his family, anti-abortion messaging, and the targeting of former staff and sitting senators are not random complaints. They are evidence of the government being bent toward personal protection and political retaliation. Republicans built this trap. Murkowski says the politicization of the department did not start with this administration, only that it has accelerated. That is the most honest line in the whole episode, and it indicts the party that spent years normalizing open contempt for institutional limits and then acted surprised when the machinery kept moving in that direction. Cassidy is now the final holdout because Trump has already trained the party to fear him more than the office they occupy. That is not a Senate crisis. It is a Republican surrender with a few delays. What Blanche represents. Blanche is being marketed as a nominee, but the nomination itself is the point. The Justice Department is no longer being discussed as an independent law enforcement institution. It is being treated as a prize in Trump's private war with anyone who won't kneel. Murkowski calling out weaponization is important, but it also shows how deep the damage is, even inside the governing party. The argument is no longer about restoring neutrality. It is about deciding how much abuse they are willing to absorb before they say no. The pattern. This is how authoritarian politics advances in plain sight. First, power is personalized. Then institutions are staffed with people chosen for obedience. Then the media is pushed to narrate the resulting conflict as process, personality, or partisan turbulence. The real story is more basic and more dangerous. A president is demanding loyalty. A party is bargaining with its own submission. And the Justice Department is being dragged closer to serving one man instead of the public. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to AlterNet for today's article, with the automated voice of Joe. Thanks for listening.